On the top before Marvel's One Drop. Today is March 11, 2021, and I thank you guys for watching this video. As today, we're obviously going to talk about the potentially historic snowstorm that will impact the Midwest later during this weekend, and we'll also talk about the major severe weather threat that's going to impact the southern Midwest as well as some southeast states. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the European model. So this is a European model forecast precipitation map as of right now, and you see that we do have this pretty well-defined low pressure system, but it's going to move out to Canada. It did dump a decent amount of snow through South Dakota, and it's dumping a little bit of snow right now in Minnesota. However, it should move off into the Northeast, as the main focus in this video will be the next historic snowstorm that will bring just potentially historic snow totals to a lot of the Midwest states. So the first thing we need to take a look at is this upper level low right here, and this will be the driving force that will set the stage to create a surface low right around Texas to create just a very potent storm, potent enough, and it's going to move slow enough to the point where it's going to dump a heavy amount of snow over a long period of time throughout the Midwest states. So here you see the upper level low, and you see there's a little bit of snow showers associated with it. There is a little bit of rain showers on the southern end of this low pressure system, as it's fairly weak for the most part. It's so weak that the European model doesn't even list it, doesn't even put an L icon representing where that trough is, because it's so weak at this point. However, it's expected to strengthen once it interacts more and more with that warm Gulf of Mexico air, and it's gonna head into a more unstable environment that will rapidly intensify the storm and create very strong updrafts with buoyant air molecules and water vapor to create just very fast convection, enough to really support this storm and to really strengthen this storm. So if we continue to move forward during the map, you see right around Friday, you see the low pressure system moves right around the four corner states: Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. And we still have isolated snow showers for the most part, nothing major just yet. However, I want to point out something interesting that you begin to notice on the back side of this, I'd say, mid-latitude cyclone moving through the northern Midwest states. You do see a line of precipitation extending along this jet stream dip, and this could set the stage for some severe weather in the southeast as early as Friday, late Friday, where we do see some precipitation form. And some of this precipitation you see here, some of this convection and condensation you see here, is associated with the low pressure system bringing those southerly winds, those southerly Gulf of Mexico, the southerly winds are bringing that Gulf of Mexico air further up northward, and it's going to encounter very cold air in the northern Midwest states, which will create just strong enough updrafts to create an area of convection right here, which could lead to severe thunderstorms as early as Friday night in the southeast. So you guys definitely need to prepare. If you're in the southeast, you only got around 2 days, a little less than 2 days to do that. But at the uploading of this video, it's going to be only around 36 hours from now. You guys will experience the first threat of severe weather right around the southern Midwest states, as you see convection form, and this convection will continue all throughout this weekend as a slow pressure system moves further eastward, bringing along with it the very cold Arctic air that pretty much originated from Alaska, where this low pressure system took a long journey all the way up north to dip down further south to bring a lot of that cold air further south to interact with that very warm Gulf of Mexico air. And as a result, we're seeing a lot of convection and just a very rapidly intensifying storm with very strong updrafts, creating rapid condensation and a very large precipitation area over a large area. As you see, as we continue to move forward, that cold air really begins to interact with that warm Gulf of Mexico air that's filled to the brim with water vapor, with dew points very high. So it's pretty much a given we're going to see a lot of convection along this dip, or I'd say along this cold front that's going to form as the storm moves eastward, where a new low pressure system will form, where we're going to see a mid latitude cyclone form, sort of, where we do see that bow echo, sort of, that dry air on the southwestern side and precipitation on the eastern and northern side of this storm, and the cold, and there will be just enough cold air right around Colorado to create a very strong snowstorm threat. And not only that, you're going to see that the snow is not only very heavy, but it's slow moving. Let's start right around the 30, let's start right around the 60-hour mark, where we begin to see the first bouts of snow in Colorado. If we continue to move forward, you see that snow extends all the way till 114 hours from now for Colorado. If you do the math, that's around 50 hours of snow, which is over 48 hours or 2 days of snow in a lot of the same areas in the in the higher elevations of Colorado, and even lower elevations such as Denver could get snow for 2 consecutive days, constant snow and heavy snow for 2 consecutive days, which will bring up the snowfall totals. And the reason why this low pressure system is going to move so slowly and bring historic snowfall totals to a lot of Midwest states is as a result of just cutting off from the jet stream, which is the reason why I've been calling it an upper level low, since upper level lows typically aren't under the influence of a very strong jet stream, since they essentially cut off from the jet stream. And as a result, upper level lows are required mainly to be independent from the jet stream, create its own unstable air through some way. And we do see that cold, and typically upper level lows have very cold cores to maintain its strength, and they're still capable enough to bring severe weather and create an area of just enough unstable air to create a major snowstorm. If we take a look at the GFS model at the 500 millibar height anomaly, it gives a good idea of why exactly the slow pressure system will move so slowly. So if we move forward, let's move further back because I'm very far out. There's the upper level low I've been talking about over the past several days, and I'm talking about right now that finally reached the California coast, and it's gonna bring down just enough cold air to rapidly strengthen this storm. And you see that this low pressure system essentially cuts itself off from the jet stream, which is well up to the north towards Canada, and there's just enough cold air associated with this upper level low to create an area of unstable air to at least strengthen it quite a bit right around the Midwest. So as a result, this is going to move very slowly. What could maybe speed up this storm is if this jet stream moves a little bit further eastward, a little bit faster than expected. But at this point, it seems like it's not good. At this point, it doesn't seem like this jet stream dip is going to move fast enough to the east to really pick this storm up and speed it up to a point where you guys won't experience a major snowstorm from this, as I think it's pretty much inevitable somewhere in the Midwest. Well, I'd say especially closer to Colorado and Nebraska and Wyoming, you will experience a major snowstorm out of this. There's no question about it. However, the question still remains, how much snow exactly? Because that's still definitely subject to change depending on how fast the storm moves and how powerful this storm is. At this point, it seems like it's going to be just just enough of a powerful enough storm to bring heavy snowfall throughout the Midwest states. However, the speed still remains to be seen, but for the most part, the computer models are leaning towards the direction of making this a very slow moving storm, and the European model agrees with it, where we do see that low pressure essentially cut off from the jet stream, creating just a very slow moving storm as a result. However, it will eventually get picked up by this jet stream dip that's gonna come from the west coast, so that's definitely good news. This won't really meander over the same areas for over, I'd say, 50 hours, which is still a ton of time. Do not underestimate this. Don't think that, it's not gonna stay over Colorado for over 50 hours. Don't think of that as good news, because having just heavy snow over the same area for 50 hours is just devastating and just brings a ton of snowfall to you guys. So at this point, it seems like it's going to be major, historic by how slow moving the storm is and how powerful the storm will be as a result of this unstable air. And this could be one of the worst winter storms we've seen all winter, including all areas in the lower 48 of the United States, where I think in some localized areas, 40 inches of snow is certainly not out of the question, especially in the higher elevations. So I'd say throughout Colorado and portions of Nebraska, Wyoming, you guys need to prepare right now because this will be major, historic, and it could be life threatening if you don't take it seriously enough. And I want you all guys to stay safe right around the Midwest. If we take a look at the current snowfall forecast based off of what the computer models are seeing in the radar, in their forecasted radar, you're going to see that they're both expecting very heavy snowfall from this snowstorm. If we take a look at the total snowfall, assuming 1 inch of rain equates to 10 inches of snow, you see, let me go back to the previous run since the GFS model is currently updating as we speak, and you see that there's just a large area of just over 2 feet of snow in the higher elevations of Colorado, and even Denver's involved, right around a foot of snow in Denver, Colorado. Nebraska is well over a foot of snow as well, based off of what the GFS model is saying, and a lot of southeastern Wyoming is also involved with over a foot of snow, and in some cases over 2 feet of snow, and approaching 3 feet in a lot of these areas in the higher elevations of Colorado and Wyoming. So this would be major. The European model also agrees with bringing historic snowfall to a lot of the Midwest states, especially Colorado. If we take a look at the total accumulated snowfall forecast from the European model, you're going to see that they're both expecting just a very major snowstorm threat, and you see that for a lot of the Midwest, including Colorado and Wyoming, over 2 feet of snow is expected over a large area, even including Nebraska and a little bit of South Dakota as well. And this snow extends even further northward to where Minnesota is getting involved, and portions of North Dakota to a lesser extent is getting involved. So this is going to be major, historic, especially if you're in the higher elevation. So just stay prepared for that. And if I were to combine and synthesize the information from what both of the two most reliable computer models are saying, I'm forecasting over 3 feet of snow in the extremely higher elevations of Colorado, and 24 to 36 inches just in the slightly lower elevations, and just a large area of just heavy snowfall. And this will be major, guys, so prepare. I emphasize that because this will be major. But outside of this snowstorm, we also have to keep in mind of the major severe weather threat that's expected to occur as a result of the amount of unstable air this trough will bring as it moves further eastward. And taking a look at the relative humidity around the mid levels of the atmosphere, which pretty much represents the entire atmosphere, you're going to see that as this trough continues to move further and further to the east, it's going to absorb a lot of that Gulf of Mexico water to pretty much create the chance of severe weather and some sort of convection to occur. As you see, there's a dry air on the southwestern side of this new low pressure system that's forming here, which is typical for mid-latitude cyclone, and it really helps to make the very moist and humid and much warmer air very buoyant, and really forces and really creates strong updrafts as a result of that. So we're definitely seeing that bow echo that will enhance a chance of severe weather, and this huge separation between dry and very humid air really shows how much unstable air there is in this region to create a major severe weather threat through the southern Midwest states, and we could definitely have a chance of potentially maybe some tornadoes because when we combine very dry and cool air with very warm and humid air, that definitely isn't a great combination. And the differences between the downdrafts and the updrafts associated with the two different air parcels, it definitely could create the chance of tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail throughout the Midwest. And there's more than enough humidity in the mid levels and the lower levels of the atmosphere to induce a lot of these thunderstorms in the southern Midwest states. So, as a result, expect a severe weather threat. And taking a look at the 2 meter temperature, it really gives a good idea of how much unstable air there will be in this region. Where is it? Is it even here? I was okay. Yeah, it's here. So in the GFS model, you're gonna see that there's a stark contrast between the very warm temperature and the very cool temperature. The cool temperatures right around the Midwest. If we take a look at the temperature anomaly, you're gonna see that. Just look at the amount of unstable air in this region because on one side it's much warmer than average with temperatures 6 to 8 degrees above and over 10 degrees above average when it comes to Celsius in some areas in the southeast. However, if you move just several miles to the west, it becomes well cooler than average as this creates just a recipe for disaster and creates just very strong convection thanks to the cooler air and denser air forcing up a lot of these air molecules, creating just a very buoyant force in the updrafts to create just a very severe thunderstorm threat throughout the South and the Midwest states. So as a result, expect severe weather from this. In terms of the timing of the severe weather, taking a look at it, you do have a chance of severe weather right around day 4 and day 5, which is Saturday and Sunday for a lot of southeast states. And beyond that, it becomes a little bit too difficult to forecast, but I'd say for the most part, I think it's becoming more likely than not you guys will experience some sort of severe weather threat right around Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and maybe Louisiana will get involved as well. Even looking at the very short-term future, severe weather is forecast thanks to the amount of very humid air this trough will bring up north, even before it brings snow to a lot of Colorado. As you see, there's a large area of severe weather that has a chance of happening throughout Texas and Oklahoma. And even the day before that, there is still that chance of severe weather on Thursday, where we do see severe weather, certainly a possibility with this storm. And you see that severe weather is expected throughout Texas and Oklahoma on Friday. So keep that in mind, that severe weather is likely to happen throughout Oklahoma. I'd say large hail will be an issue, damaging winds, and maybe isolated tornadoes as well. And not only severe weather we need to keep track of, we also have the heavy rain threat throughout the Midwest, where over 5 inches of rain could be possible right around Missouri, as it seems like to be the sweet spot right around Missouri and just north of Oklahoma, where all the rain will be located. And it's going to be right along jet stream where the most condensation will occur as a result of the cooler temperatures further up northward than, let's say, further southward. But it's gonna be just a very heavy rainfall threat, and flooding definitely could be the issue with this. And you see that in this map, up to 3 to 6 inches is expected throughout Missouri and even extending to Illinois. And I'd say in places such as Oklahoma and Kansas will also get involved with this heavy rain, as well as major severe weather threat. So keep a close eye on that, as it is going to be one of the worst snowstorms and one of the first major severe weather threats headed into this spring, or at least approaching spring, because technically we're still in winter. But yeah, guys, I guess that's it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. I hope you guys have a good day.